Today we are discussing gas tank removal on an Allis Chalmers D14 tractor. I believe mine's a 58 or 59, and I'll get right to the point and then I'll discuss why I ended up doing that. Basically, the side covers there, the engine covers, remove the screws on each side of this to get this piece of bracketry out of the way. At that point it would raise up a few inches. Remove this gas tank strap. On mine it was a slotted screw. At that point, gas tank still would not come out, and that's when I got to peeking underneath, and there's this bracket here, and there's two screws, at least on mine, but no, a nut and a bolt, 1/2 inch, and I was able to access those with a quarter drive ratchet and a small wrench. Got in there. At that point, I was able to lift this up and then pull the gas tank out of the side. Now let's discuss why. I had been running this tractor out here on my property, and the tractor just kept running lean, and it just would lose power, and I really wasn't sure if it was ignition or a fuel delivery issue, because the fuel bowl would never run dry. Anyway, I was running the tractor, and as it would start to lose power, pretty obviously, I took some carb spray and started spraying it in my intake. And at that point, if you added carb spray, it would just take off and run like brand new. That led me to believe, hey, fuel delivery issue. So I got back down here to the carb and unloosened the line, and sure enough, gas was just barely dripping out of it. And if you let it sit for 5-10 minutes, you have to refill the bowl. These tractors really sip gas, so you could run it, another 5-10 minutes or whatever, and then it would start to starve for fuel again. What I traced it down to was the original bowl assembly, and they actually had one at Tractor Supply, and I was not able to unscrew my old one with the gas tank in it. I tried a couple times. I just could not get basically a sufficient purchase on it, so to speak, and just couldn't get it to unscrew. I was afraid I was going to break the nipple off in there, and then I got real problems. So anyway, I got the tank out and went ahead and removed the bowl, and sure enough, it was totally clogged up with just debris. The gas tank inside, unfortunately, actually looks like brand new, but I probably could have cleaned out the original one, but it is old, basically old cheap casting. It's very likely the original. And when I was removing the fuel bowl, I just barely got it to basically reseal earlier with the old one. And that's because it was starting to warp, and I was just like, you know what, I'm just going to put on a new one for $39. So did that and hooked it all back up, and now it runs. And one thing I should point out, this, even if you're the carb is starving for gas, the fuel bowl will probably never run completely dry, because the fuel bowl is actually a little bit lower than the carb. So you actually have to have a bit of gas in this, basically, for gravity to force that down and get to the carb. It's probably, they're almost level, but I'm thinking the carb is about a 1/2 inch taller, and because in gravity, you got to have gas in there to force it through the fuel bowl up into the carb. Let's see if this thing starts. Got my genuine eBay high performance Allis Chalmers keychain. Make sure it's in neutral. Don't want a tractor accident here.